Hello, fellow writers, and welcome to the Preptober goals video. I know that we're a little bit late on this. We're already into the month of October. Prep has already begun for most people, but I wanted to go ahead and make this video anyway, partially because my goals for this month and for next month, for NaNoWriMo month, are kind of different and definitely different to what I've done before. But also because it's good for me. It's good for me to have the accountability, to also have the inspiration of just knowing that I have been able to talk about these goals and that I've been able to share these goals with my fellow writers. So it's a twofold thing going on here. And honestly, I'm still riding this energy wave from September, and I kind of want to keep the momentum going. So I figured a goals video would really help with that. So, real quickly, if you're new to the channel, hi, I'm Joanna G. Holden, and I am a fantasy author and author-tuber. This is my office-ish, which we'll talk about at some point. But if there's an echo in here, I apologize. It's still not finished. But this is the only quiet room I had in the house. So NaNoWriMo is National Novel Writing Month. In the month of November, writers from across the world will make a commitment to try and write 50,000 words in 30 days. The idea being to complete a novel in 30 days, although I personally almost never complete a full novel in 50,000 words, but that's the goal. And then Preptober is the month of October, where we are preparing our manuscripts to be written. We're getting together character sheets and outlines and world building and a whole host of other things so that when we sit down to write in the month of November, we can go quickly. You know, the stuff's already there and we can actually sit and write without having to think through all of the various things. Obviously, for our pantsing community, Preptober is not really a thing more than maybe doing like aesthetics and collecting playlists and maybe just getting down some basic ideas. For those of us who lean on more of the plotting end, Preptober is usually a great time to hammer out your basic number of scenes and making sure we understand character motivations at least enough to get us going. Last year, I did 2 different videos, I believe, on Preptober. I went through several Preptober workbooks and I was planning on the writing in November and it went very smoothly. This year, I'm doing things differently. I am being what we call a nano rebel, which means that I will be technically committing to nano-ish, but I'm not going to be first drafting. It's going to be a different kind of work. And specifically for me, I'm not really worried as much about word count as how much I'm getting done of the work that I would like to. But before I get into that, let's talk about October. As I mentioned in my last vlog, I am pregnant. I'm in the middle of second trimester, which means I have a limited amount of energy that will inevitably run out as my baby grows bigger and as my body needs to devote more and more energy to growing the baby, keeping them safe. And I will be soon hitting third trimester, which is when the exhaustion usually kind of kicks in. Mental clarity usually stays, but the exhaustion kind of kicks in. So I thought November may not be the ideal month to try doing a lot of drafting, which is going to be a lot of words every day, a lot of work every day. So I have decided instead to switch things up for both October and November. And here's where we get into the goals. October's goals. I have 2 goals for October that are both quite lofty, but feel oddly doable. The first of those is to complete the first draft of my YA fairy tale. I have, well, pretty much most of the second half of the book left to write. Just under 40,000 words is my goal. And the plan is to write Monday through Friday and try to write a scene every day. I have 22 days I counted up in the month of October that are school/work days that I can work on this book, and I will be leaving the weekends open. My scenes tend to ride between 1,500 and 2,500 words, usually erring on the side of 2,500. So as far as word count goes, pretty much I'm aiming to write 2,000 words a day those days. And if I have about an hour to 2 hours to write during that time, usually that's enough for me to do. And I've been spreading it over, obviously, since we're already into October, I've already been writing on it some. And I've just spread the writing out a little bit over the day. So I start, during nap time/quiet time, and I write for about half an hour to an hour, and then take a little break, play with the kids, do some yoga, maybe get dinner started, and then I write a little bit while dinner's cooking, and then, maybe after, kids are playing outside after supper, so I write a little bit then, or I write right after they go to bed. And if I spread it out, I usually do end up getting quite a bit of writing done. In fact, I've already had a day where I managed to write an entire scene that was much shorter than I thought it'd be, so I went ahead and wrote half of the next day's scene, so that I could kind of, keep moving forward and keep with the momentum. So again, it feels like an incredibly doable goal. We'll have to see at the end of the month how doable it actually was. The second goal for October is going to be one that I literally just came up with like 2 days ago when I saw Bethany Atazadeh's video about her live streaming plan for the month of October, and that is to outline the next fairy tale in this standalone fairy tale series over the month of October on the weekends. So Bethany Atazadeh, who is another author tuber, has decided to schedule live streaming plotting events for each of the weekends in October, going through the Save the Cat Writes a Novel beat sheet. And I'm a huge fan of the book. I'm a huge fan of outlining, and I've been wanting to get into these next set of outlines anyway as we head into a new year and as I begin wrapping up Swan Song, which is the YA fairy tale I'm working on right now. And this will tie in, as you'll see in a minute, to my November goals as well. But when she started talking about that, I was like, yes, that would be perfect. I already have, technically, so there's 3 more fairy tales, and 2 of them I already know the basic plot, and I've been getting ideas over the past about 1.5 years for a ton of ideas for subplots and characters and backstories and twists and turns along the ways of the stories. So I would pick one of those 2 and I would work on just that one, and what a perfect way to do it. Plus, we're still in football season, which means that the time that she's planning on doing it every Saturday, hubby's usually busy watching football, which is usually the kids' gaming time because it's something special that they get to do on the weekends while daddy's busy watching football, and it's still too friggin' hot to go outside in the middle of the day. So I thought, perfect, this is like perfect timing. I can work on outlining, and the kids are having fun, and daddy is having fun, hopefully, unless, people are playing terribly. So that is the second goal. The first one with the drafting is the one that I'm going to push for the hardest, and if I find myself not finishing it, I may have to set aside the second goal and spend my Saturdays working on really completing this draft. I really want this book done this year, and I really would like to have it done before NaNo, again, before that 3rd trimester and my energy goes, and I may end up with some brain fog. So we're going to see. The second one, even if I don't do a ton of work on it, even if I don't completely outline it, I could even just be listening to the live streams or just do a little bit of the work during the live streams. It wouldn't have to be as work intensive as the drafting would be. So again, it feels completely doable. As far as my NaNo rebellion goes, I have decided to take the month of November and work on outlining the remaining 2 novels in the series. Again, I would really like to have just a bunch of work done on these before I get into the new year, and if possible, have one of them at least gotten to the place where I can start scene by scene outlining it so that I can begin drafting it next year. My goal for right now has kind of just been, I would like to write a book a year. And whether I publish a book a year or not, I would like to at least write a book a year. And this would be perfect. So NaNoWriMo is also a time when you get a lot of writing vlogs going up. So I can be listening to writing vlogs when I'm washing dishes and doing the laundry, and going for walks outside and stuff. And then I can be working on my own stuff, in the afternoons and the evenings when I'm feeling more rested. And it wouldn't be as intense as drafting, but it would still be me working on books, right? Me doing something fun with these books. And then by the end of the year, worst case scenario, I've at least been thinking about these books and I've made some headway on all of them. And if I work on one of them over the month of October more intensely, that leaves so much more room in November to work on the other 2 more in depth and in greater detail, and exploring more of the different elements of writing and getting closer and closer to outlining stages. If I were to add the month of December, I would say that would be a great time. And this is not like an official goal, but just thinking ahead, December would be a great time coming off of having finished a novel and having outlined a bunch of others to maybe just do some gentle rewriting of the first act of Swan Song, maybe work on my high fantasy series a little bit. That is something that's very low key. I'm still in the phases of brainstorming and figuring things out and some minor world building. So I have things that I can do in those latter months of pregnancy that are not as intense and is not as requiring of so much of my brain energy as drafting is. That is getting way far ahead of everything though. For now, Preptober, NaNoWriMo, that's what we're doing. Since I'm going to be drafting and working so hard for this month, I figured that maybe the thing that I should do for a video, because I would like to have a vlog go up to chronicle some of this and share what I've been discovering along the way, will be to do weekly check-ins for the month of October. Share how far I've gotten in the story for Swan Song, share how far I've gotten in an outline for one of the other projects. And I have to hide this because I have titles. I have titles already set up. But I already printed off a number of sheets from the Heart Breathings Preptober planner. I didn't really do like the calendar and stuff because that's not particularly helpful to me. But I printed off her Sarah Cannon's NaNoWriMo novel, like figuring things out and figuring out the story, like the working outline part of it, as well as just brainstorming. She has a whole section there for brainstorming. Here it is, idea brainstorming, which I thought was just a lot of fun, and it would be something that I can work on. So I don't know that I'll work on this during Preptober. I may have to go ahead and work on this for whichever project I pick to outline this month. I guess I will. But mostly this is actually going to be what I work on during NaNoWriMo. So it's going to be weird doing the Preptober stuff in Nano and the Nano stuff during Preptober. But at least it works, right? At least I'm getting the writing done and I am having so much fun already. The story, like I said, I've already been working on the second half of Swan Song. The story's already been coming together. It's been so wonderful, and getting the writing time in every day has just felt so productive. So those are my goals for October and November. I would love to hear what your goals are. If you're doing Nano, if you're gonna be a Nano rebel, if you're just not doing it at all and just doing your normal writing thing, do comment down below and we can discuss. And as always, be sure to like the video. And if you're not subscribed and want to see more writing and self-publishing and fantasy related content, be sure to subscribe on the way out. But that's really all that I have. So I am going to get back to it. Get back to the writing, get back to the preparation, and I will see you in my weekly updates for the month of October. It's gonna be fun. Are you excited? I'm excited. Let's do this. I love you all very much, and I hope to see you very soon in my next video. Bye.